It started with a little breathlessness while tying his shoes. Nothing big. He thought it was age catching up. Until one morning. He never got up again. There are signs our body gives us, subtle, quiet, almost whispering, that something isn't quite right. But what if those signs were trying to warn you of a heart problem? Something serious? Today, on the Wisdom Bench, we'll explore the early signs of heart problems you should never ignore, because sometimes, those small warnings are the difference between life and loss. The silent killer: why heart issues sneak up. Let's begin with a truth that's hard to face. Heart disease doesn't always shout. It whispers. It tiptoes into our lives with tiredness, discomfort, indigestion. Until one day, it strikes loud and fast. In the United States, heart disease remains the #1 cause of death, especially among adults aged 60 and over. And yet, most people don't even recognize the early symptoms. Why? Because they don't come in the form of dramatic chest pain. They come as little things we often ignore. So let's pull back the curtain. Let's bring those hidden signs into the light. Because knowledge, dear listener, is protection. Chest discomfort, not always pain. We've all heard it, chest pain equals heart attack. But here's what most people don't realize. Chest discomfort isn't always sharp or severe. It can feel like tightness, pressure, burning, fullness. Imagine sitting in your chair and feeling like an elephant is pressing down on your chest, not enough to crush you, but just enough to make you uncomfortable. That's what many survivors describe. Real story. Margaret, 72, from Ohio, thought she had acid reflux. The tightness came and went. But it was her nurse daughter who recognized the signs and got her to the ER. It turned out to be a mild heart attack in progress. Takeaway. If you're having chest discomfort that lasts more than a few minutes, especially with other symptoms like sweating, nausea, or lightheadedness, don't wait. Shortness of breath, the forgotten clue. One of the most underestimated signs of heart trouble? Shortness of breath. You might feel winded after minimal activity, breathless while lying down, like you can't catch your breath even when resting. This happens because the heart isn't pumping efficiently, causing fluid buildup in the lungs. Real story. George, 68, a retired firefighter, thought he was just out of shape. But when walking up his front steps made him feel dizzy and breathless, his wife insisted he see a doctor. He had congestive heart failure. Your breath matters. Don't ignore what it's telling you. Swollen ankles, feet, or legs. If your shoes feel tighter or your socks leave deep marks, it might not just be salt intake. Swelling in the lower limbs, called edema, can be a sign that the heart is struggling to pump blood efficiently, causing fluid to back up. Look for puffy ankles, legs that feel heavy or tight, swelling that worsens in the evening. Real story. Evelyn, 74, noticed she had to loosen her slippers each night. She brushed it off, until her knees started aching and her legs felt tired all the time. A checkup revealed she had right-sided heart failure. Swelling isn't just about water retention. Sometimes, it's your heart waving a red flag. Fatigue, the creeping exhaustion. Let's talk about a symptom that's almost always blamed on aging. Fatigue. Not the I stayed up too late kind. We're talking about deep, unexplained tiredness, the kind where getting dressed feels like a chore. You lose interest in activities you loved. A nap doesn't help at all. Fatigue is one of the most common early warning signs of heart disease in older adults. Real story. Carlos, 70, stopped going fishing with his buddies. "I'm just getting older," he said. But the truth was, his heart wasn't getting enough oxygen to his body. He was living with coronary artery disease without knowing it. Don't ignore persistent fatigue. Your body is trying to tell you something. Irregular heartbeat, the hidden rhythm. Let's imagine your heart as a drummer in a jazz band. Steady, smooth, keeping the rhythm of life. But sometimes, that drummer starts to miss a beat. Or races ahead. Or pounds way too hard without warning. That's called arrhythmia, an irregular heartbeat. And it's a warning sign you should never ignore. It can feel like a flutter in your chest. Your heart skipping a beat. Racing without cause, especially while resting. A pounding pulse in your neck or throat. Real story. Doris, 76, was reading quietly when her heart suddenly began to race like a hummingbird. It only lasted a minute. She dismissed it. Weeks later, she fainted while doing the dishes. Her atrial fibrillation had triggered a dangerous drop in blood pressure. These moments, even if brief, should never be dismissed. If your heart's rhythm changes for no reason, it's not just nerves. It's a red flag waving. Nausea, cold sweats, indigestion. What's the last thing most people think of when they imagine a heart attack? Stomach trouble. But for many, especially women and seniors, heart trouble doesn't show up as chest pain at all. It shows up as nausea or vomiting, cold, clammy sweating, indigestion that won't go away, feeling off or lightheaded. Real story. Jean, 69, from Michigan, thought she had food poisoning. Her chest felt tight, but not painful. She started sweating and felt faint. Luckily, her son was with her, and rushed her to the ER. She was having a silent heart attack. These symptoms are often misdiagnosed or ignored, even by doctors. But your intuition matters. If something feels off, don't wait. Dizziness or lightheadedness. You stand up from the couch, and the room spins. Or you're walking and suddenly feel like you might fall. Dizziness is often brushed off as dehydration or low blood sugar. But in seniors, it can be a warning sign of heart failure, valve disease, or arrhythmia. Your brain needs a steady supply of oxygen-rich blood. When the heart struggles to deliver that, the brain reacts. Real story. Richard, 73, passed out while gardening. Doctors later discovered his heart valve had narrowed over the years, slowly choking the blood flow. His dizzy spells were his body's desperate cry for help. Listen when your world spins. It could be your heart crying out. Unusual sweating, a sign of distress. Have you ever started sweating during rest? Not after a walk. Not during a workout. But just sitting there? Unexplained sweating, especially cold sweats, can indicate a heart that's under stress. This kind of sweat is different. It comes on suddenly. You feel clammy or drenched. Your skin may turn pale or gray. It's often accompanied by nausea, chest discomfort, or dizziness. Real story. Samuel, 78, woke up drenched one night, heart pounding. He thought it was just a bad dream. It wasn't. His heart had gone into ventricular tachycardia, and he needed emergency care. Never ignore sweating that doesn't make sense. It may be more than just a temperature issue. Pain in the jaw, neck, back, or arm. Heart pain doesn't always stay in the chest. It can radiate, like ripples from a stone thrown in a pond. Many seniors experience jaw pain, often mistaken for dental problems. Neck tension, as if from sleeping wrong. Upper back pain, especially between the shoulder blades. Pain down one or both arms, more common in the left. Real story. Linda, 71, thought her arthritis was flaring up. Her neck and jaw hurt. But when the pain started traveling down her arm, she got help. Fast action saved her life. She was in the early stages of a major cardiac event. If it moves, it matters. Pain that radiates could be your heart in distress. Mental confusion or memory issues. When we think of heart disease, we don't always think of the brain. But the two are more connected than we realize. If your heart isn't pumping well, the brain receives less oxygen, and that can lead to forgetfulness, confusion, trouble focusing, slower response times. Especially in seniors, these signs are often blamed on just aging. Real story. Frank, 80, began forgetting names and misplacing things. His family thought it was early dementia, but his doctor discovered chronic low oxygen due to congestive heart failure. Once treated, his clarity improved dramatically. If you or your loved one suddenly struggles with memory or focus, don't assume it's dementia. Check the heart, too, when it's time to call 911. Let's be clear. There are moments when waiting is not an option. Call emergency services if you or loved one experiences chest discomfort that lasts more than a few minutes, pain that radiates to arms, neck, or jaw, unexplained sweating, sudden dizziness or a loss of consciousness, shortness of breath, a racing or irregular heartbeat with weakness or fainting. Don't drive yourself. Don't wait just one more hour. Don't take a nap hoping it'll pass. Time lost is heart muscle lost. Every minute counts. Lifestyle changes that save lives. It's not just about knowing the signs. It's about changing the story before it's too late. Here's the good news. Even if you've had heart issues, or are at high risk, simple daily changes can protect you. Let's explore what really works. The Heart Smart Plate. Your heart is what you eat. And seniors, more than anyone, benefit from what's on the plate. Choose whole grains over white bread and pasta. Eat plenty of leafy greens, spinach, kale, collards. Add healthy fats, olive oil, avocado, nuts. Eat omega-3 rich fish like salmon, sardines, or mackerel. Avoid processed meats, excess salt, and sugary snacks. Real story. Ray, 67, was on the brink of diabetes and heart disease. A dietitian guided him to the Mediterranean diet. Within 6 months, his blood pressure dropped, cholesterol improved, and energy returned. You don't need a perfect diet. You need a better one. Move, even if slowly. You don't need to run marathons. But your heart needs movement. Simple exercises for seniors. Walking 20 to 30 minutes a day. Chair yoga or tai chi. Light strength training with bands. Water aerobics or swimming. Movement equals circulation equals oxygen equals life. Real story. Barbara, 75, had arthritis. Walking was painful, but she started chair exercises and water walking twice a week. Her heart rate improved, and she even lost weight, without strain. If you can move, you must. Not fast. Just forward. Manage stress and emotions. Do you know what's just as bad for your heart as a fatty burger? Chronic stress. Seniors often carry hidden stress. Grief. Loneliness. Worry about children or finances. Fear of the future. This invisible weight raises blood pressure, worsens inflammation, and burdens the heart. Tools that help. Meditation or prayer. Journaling or gratitude lists. Talking to a therapist. Spending time with pets or grandkids. Enjoying music, art, or nature. Real story. Nancy, 80, lost her husband. Her heart was literally broken, diagnosed as stress cardiomyopathy. Therapy and support groups gave her strength, and her heart slowly healed. Your emotional health is your heart's health. Cut the harmful habits. We all know the dangers. Smoking is poison for the heart. Heavy alcohol use raises blood pressure. Sedentary living shrinks your vitality. Overuse of salt or sugar stiffens your arteries. But here's what seniors often forget. It's never too late to stop. Real story. Henry, 72, smoked for 50 years. After his first heart scare, he quit. Within 1 year, his risk of heart attack dropped by 50%. His breath returned. His energy returned. So did hope. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to begin. Follow up with your doctor, even if you feel fine. Here's a hard truth. Most heart conditions don't have loud symptoms at first. That's why checkups are your armor. Ask your doctor about cholesterol levels, blood pressure trends, EKG or heart rhythm tests, weight changes and circulation checks, medications and their side effects. Real story. Ella, 79, hadn't seen her doctor in years. Her daughter finally insisted. A simple EKG revealed a dangerous rhythm, and a pacemaker saved her life. Silence is not safety. Prevention isn't paranoia. It's power. A letter from your future self. Now let's pause. And imagine. Imagine you, 10 years from now. You're alive. Well, laughing. Surrounded by those you love. Why? Because you paid attention to the signs. You listened to your body. You took small steps toward healing. You made it. You're watching your grandchild graduate. You're walking hand in hand with someone you love. You're living fully, because you chose not to ignore the whispers. Real story. Joe, 81, said this in his memoir. I had a choice. I could ignore the signs and let time run me down. Or I could fight back with attention, discipline, and love. I chose to live. And now, it's your turn. To the one listening now. If you feel tired all the time. If your chest has been feeling strange. If your breath has felt shorter. Don't dismiss it. Don't wait. Because your heart has fought for you every second of your life. Now it's time. You fight for it, too. Call your doctor. Go for a walk. Change your plate. Talk to someone. Share this video with a loved one. Someone you don't want to lose. And subscribe to the Wisdom Bench. Because here, we honor your years. But more importantly, we help you add more to them.